There is big news today for .NET MAUI fans. If you were interested in trying out .NET MAUI or Blazor Hybrid, but didn't want to install the preview version of Visual Studio, today is the day you've been waiting for. If you update your production version of Visual Studio today, you'll get version 17.3, which includes access to the .NET MAUI templates and all the .NET MAUI tooling in a production-ready version of Visual Studio. So let's take a look at what you get, as well as how to update Visual Studio. So here I already have Visual Studio updated, so let's talk about the templates that are in here, and then we can look at how you update Visual Studio if you don't have this yet. So we create a new project, and in here, if you look, you'll see that there's .NET MAUI apps. Let's just search for them based upon coming here and saying MAUI. And we have .NET MAUI. We have the .NET MAUI Blazor app. We also have the .NET MAUI class library. So we have these three different options as well. If we go to the Blazor option, we can see the .NET MAUI Blazor app also shows up there. This is also known as Blazor Hybrid. They have both names they kind of use interchangeably. I kind of prefer Blazor Hybrid because .NET MAUI Blazor app versus a .NET MAUI app seems a little confusing. But we have all these options now in Visual Studio because of the fact that we're on 17.3. Now, if you don't see these, first of all, go to your Help menu and say Check for Updates. What this will do is it will verify what the update you're currently on and if you can get the new update. So for instance, I've already been updated, but it says that I'm up to date on my Visual Studio 2022 version or community edition of Visual Studio. So I'm on 17.3.0. That's the latest version that came out today. So this is the one you want to be on. If you don't have this yet, it should prompt you right here to update Visual Studio to that latest version. Now, you may ask, if I don't have Visual Studio 2022, maybe I have 2019, how do I get the .NET MAUI tooling? And the answer is you don't. You don't get the new tooling if you don't have Visual Studio 2022. Now, Visual Studio 2022 is free. You can get it for most cases. If you personally don't make more than $1 million a year and don't have more than 5 employees, then you're good to go. So that's the kind of the rules around that. If you're working for a company, the company has to make less than $1 million a year if you're using it for the company. But if you, let's say, work for a company, but want to do this in your own personal time for your own personal stuff, then it's just you again. It's not about your company. It's about you. So there's a very, very generous option for most people to get Visual Studio for free. So Visual Studio 2022, all the different editions, the community, professional, and enterprise editions all now have .NET MAUI available to them in production. Okay, now what if you have this latest version but don't see .NET MAUI? Well, it's probably because you have to configure your Visual Studio. So let's do that. We're going to drag us over here. This is getting ready to configure my version of Visual Studio. And in here, this is where we can choose which things to install, which things not to install. And right here under mobile and desktop, we have .NET MAUI, which is .NET Multi-Platform App UI Development. If you look at the initials here, MAUI, that's MAUI. So yes, MAUI is an acronym and it stands for Multi-Platform App UI Development. So make sure that box is checked. That's what's going to allow you to have those templates installed in Visual Studio. If you see other things that I use that you don't have, maybe check to see which ones I have checked here. So I have these checked. I also have these two down here. So, if you want to have my same templates, that's the way to do it. So with that, that's the things that's how you get MAUI installed on your machine very easily. Notice this is also how you can update Visual Studio. You can just say update like here, but I've already updated 2022. Actually, my 2022 preview is now behind my 2022 production version for whatever reason. I just haven't updated it yet. But with that, that's the new announcement. That's what's out today. Give it a shot. Try it out. Let me know what your thoughts are on Maui and what things you want to see added. And in fact, that's a good time to segue to how do you ask me to do a video? And that's if you go to suggestions.imtimcorey.com, you will find a spot here to add your own suggestion or upvote a suggestion for a future video. So, for example, if we were to do a search for Maui, and spell it right, you'll notice we have 17 different suggestions for .NET MAUI. We can sort by popular and see all the different suggestions. The more popular a suggestion is, the more likely it is I will do a video on it. That does not mean I won't do a video that has lower votes. Notice, in fact, I've already done this video. So this allows me to kind of keep an eye on what the audience is looking for, what you want to see done. And so with this, I take this and I use this as a tool for helping me develop future content. All right. So this is the suggestion site. If you want to see more on Maui, go ahead and either upvote a current suggestion. That's probably the most helpful thing, because adding more that are pretty much the same is a little difficult to keep track of and makes, you have less votes because people voted for something else. So come in here and vote for the ones you want to see. But if there's one that's not really shown on here, then go ahead and leave a suggestion as well. Also, if we go to C#projects.com, we'll see the new C# project site. And this is where you can see where .NET MAUI fits into the overall ecosystem of .NET. So you have desktop apps, web apps, we have service and other mobile apps, and of course, gaming is coming soon. But you'll see that .NET MAUI and Blazor Hybrid are both desktop apps and mobile app types. So they technically do both. So they do not do web. So it says Blazor, it's not a web project, but it does do desktop and mobile, and you get to see, well, is Maui the right choice for a desktop application? Well, you have 6 different options, not just .NET MAUI. And so with that, you can kind of compare and contrast and see what works best. We just did a video recently on Windows Forms or WinForms. And one of the questions that came up was, well, with .NET MAUI, why would I ever use WinForms? And there's still a point which it's valuable. There's still a reason why you would use WinForms as opposed to .NET MAUI. So this will help you kind of differentiate, understand what the options are and what the pros and cons of each are, so that you can make an informed decision on which one to take on for your next project. Okay, so I want to make sure we get that out there, let everyone know that yes, the .NET MAUI is now in the production version of Visual Studio. Go and have fun, create some cool stuff with it. I can't wait to see what you do, and let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are and what you're looking forward to most. Thanks for watching, and as always, I am Tim Corey.